Fresh facts you didn't know 5 minutes ago? In the age of the internet, an endless trove of knowledge is just a few clicks away. The issue is figuring out what's worth knowing and what might just clutter your brain. That's where I come in. From the strange and fascinating to the truly amazing, here are 20 facts you didn't know 5 minutes ago. A cucumber cure for bad breath. Imagine this. You have a first date at a fancy restaurant, but you forgot breath mints and just ordered garlic bread. Don't panic. Order a side salad with cucumber. Fibrous veggies like celery and cucumbers boost saliva production, washing away odor-causing bacteria and curing bad breath. For a quick fix, hold a slice of cucumber between your tongue and the roof of your mouth for about 90 seconds to eliminate odors. If there's no cucumber, parsley works too. Just chew on your garnish discreetly and you're good to go. Decoding those mysterious white fingernail spots. Have you ever looked at your fingernails and noticed strange white markings? This common condition, known as leukonychia, is usually harmless. It's often caused by injury to the nail bed, like when you accidentally strike or pinch your nail. Due to the time it takes for nails to grow, you might not remember the injury by the time the white spots appear. Leukonychia can also result from allergic reactions to nail products or a deficiency in minerals like zinc or calcium. Unless your entire nail turns white or you experience pain, these spots will typically disappear on their own. While you're looking at your fingers, head over to those like and subscribe buttons and give them some love. And don't forget to tickle the bell icon to be the first to know when I upload more amazing content. Now let's get back to boosting your brains. Say prunes for perfect pictures. Before getting your photo taken, you expect to hear, say cheese. But back in the 1800s, people said prunes. Most people back then weren't comfortable smiling due to poor dental hygiene, so big grins were seen as childish. In British studios of the 1840s, photographers told people to say prunes to keep their mouths taut. This predates today's fish-faced pout by about 180 years. By the mid-20th century, photography became faster and more casual, and people had better teeth. When Kodak started making affordable cameras, they marketed them with photos of smiling faces. Former Ambassador Joseph E. Davies came up with Say Cheese as the perfect formula for an instant smile. And the rest is history. The hot history behind Flamin' Hot Cheetos. In 2019, Flamin' Hot Cheetos were named America's favorite snack brand for the third year in a row. But did you know they almost didn't exist? In 1976, 18-year-old Richard Montanez was hired as a janitor at a Frito-Lay plant in Rancho Cucamonga, California. He struggled to read and write, so his wife filled out his application. One day, a broken machine on the Cheetos assembly line spat out plain Cheetos without cheese powder. Montanez took them home and dusted them with chili powder. Inspired by a local street snack, grilled corn with lime and chili powder. He pitched the idea to former PepsiCo CEO Roger Enrico, and after preparing a presentation, it was an instant hit. Montanez became an executive vice president at PepsiCo North America and is now a best-selling author and motivational speaker. The Great Chocolate Debate, U.S. versus Europe. Americans and Europeans will always argue about chocolate. If you've tried both, you know they taste different. Why? Different regulations. European chocolate is creamier, requiring at least 14% dry milk solids, while the U.S. minimum is 12%. European chocolate also has a higher cocoa content, giving it a richer flavor. But there's another reason Europeans dislike American chocolate. Hershey's uses butyric acid, which extends shelf life but gives it a tangy flavor. Let's start a healthy discussion about this treat in the comments below. Which brand do you prefer? And what other foods taste different in your country? I'm curious. Let's get back to the facts. The surprising origins of the dunce cap. In the Middle Ages, the dunce cap, now associated with stupidity, was once a symbol of intelligence. It all began with philosopher John Duns Scotus, whose followers wore pointy hats, believing they acted as reverse funnels for knowledge. However, by the mid-16th century, popular thought turned against Scotus, and the hats became symbols of idiocy. They eventually found their way into classrooms to humiliate kids until the late 1950s. The Eiffel Tower that almost wasn't. The Eiffel Tower, a symbol of France, almost ended up in Spain. Designer Gustave Eiffel first pitched the plans to Barcelona, but the city rejected it, thinking it would be an eyesore. Eiffel then pitched it to Paris, where it became the main archway for the 1889 International Exposition. Surprisingly, Parisians didn't like it much either, with one critic calling it a metal asparagus. The tower wasn't supposed to stay up long and was even offered for sale as scrap. It was only spared because the French army found it useful as a communications tower. Today, it's one of the world's most beloved landmarks. The hidden superpower of baby kneecaps. Did you know that babies are born with about 300 bones, compared to the 206 bones adults have? Over time, smaller bones fuse together. Babies aren't born with kneecaps. Instead, they have cartilage that eventually turns into bony kneecaps. This process, called ossification, begins between ages 2 and 6 and completes around age 10 or 12. Being born with kneecaps could make birth more difficult, so isn't the human body smart? Space booze, the ultimate cosmic cocktail. Drifting 10,000 light-years away in the constellation Aquila is a massive cloud of alcohol, 1,000 times larger than our solar system. It contains enough ethyl alcohol to fill 400 trillion pints of beer. Sadly, it's 58 quadrillion miles away, so an interstellar pub crawl is off the cards. Another cloud, Sagittarius B2, holds 10 billion liters of mostly methanol alcohol. These alcohol clouds form naturally in space under the right conditions, often on the surface of space dust, creating massive clouds that float off to get some aliens very drunk. I wonder if space booze pairs well with moon cheese, the secret trick to locking your car from afar. Ever parked your car and walked away only to realize you forgot to lock it? Instead of retracing your steps, hold the metal key part of your key fob against your chin and press the lock button. You might look weird, but it extends the key's wireless range by a few car lengths. Your head acts as an antenna, thanks to the fluids and electrical currents in your body. It won't work over great distances, but it can save you a few steps. Keep your cool. A simple battery hack. Smartphones are supposed to have great battery life, but they always seem to die when you need them most. Here's a simple way to extend your battery life. Keep your phone cool. Your body heat, transmitted through your pocket, speeds up chemical processes in the battery, draining it faster. Keep your phone in a bag or on a belt clip instead. And if you're away from home without a charger, turn off your phone and pop it in the refrigerator, not the freezer, to slow the battery drain. What's that white stuff on your salmon? Salmon is a popular seafood, but if you've cooked it, you've probably seen white gunk appear. It's not fat, but a protein called albumin. Albumin lives in fish in liquid form and appears when muscle fibers heat up and contract, pushing out the white protein. It's safe to eat, but can look unsightly. To reduce albumin, blot the cooked fish with a paper towel or brine it before cooking. A quick soak in sea salt and water helps relax the muscle fibers, minimizing albumin. Ticklish rats and their adorable giggles. Rats may not be cute to everyone, but they're ticklish. A 2016 study found the tickle center in the rat brain, showing that stimulating neurons there elicits ultrasonic squeaks. Rats return to the place where they were tickled, and tickling triggers dopamine in their brain's reward circuits. They also show joy jumps, leaping into the air with both legs together, a display of positive emotion found in dogs, foxes, and human children. The mystery of the missing socks. Ever wondered where your socks go during a wash? Top-loader machines might let socks sneak into the crevice between drums, snagging in the water drain or pump. In front loaders, socks might lodge under the rubber water seal, gasket. Even in the dryer, static electricity can make socks stick to other clothes. So no, there's no sock-eating monster in your washing machine. The world's tallest waterfall under the sea. Niagara Falls is huge, but the Denmark Strait is the world's tallest waterfall. Located under the ocean near Greenland, it begins 2,000 feet below the surface and plunges to a depth of 10,000 feet, a nearly 2-mile drop. It carries 123 million cubic feet of water per second, equivalent to 2,000 Niagara Falls at peak flow. Cold water from the Nordic seas meets warmer water from the Erminger Sea, causing the denser cold water to sink, creating this underwater waterfall. Unlocking the iPhone's secret superpower. Apple's iPhone 12 Pro and Pro Max models have a new feature. A LiDAR scanner located as a black dot on the back. LiDAR stands for light detection and ranging. It uses laser beams to measure distance and object size, constructing 3D models of environments. This scanner can revolutionize fields like architecture, archaeology, and augmented reality gaming. The ancient origins of sunglasses. Sunglasses, as we know them today, were first invented sometime in the 12th century in China. These primitive frames were made of roughly shaped smoked quartz slabs that blocked out the sun. available only to the very wealthy. These early sunglasses didn't offer vision correction or UV protection, but were used to hide emotions while speaking, particularly useful for Chinese judges who wanted to conceal their true feelings during trials. However, centuries earlier, Inuit and Yupik communities used rudimentary snow goggles made from driftwood, ivory, or bone with slits to protect their eyes from sunlight reflecting off the snow. No fancy riding, a bizarre bike law. There are plenty of bizarre laws across the United States, but one particular law in Galesburg, Illinois, takes the cake for cyclists. No fancy riding. The Galesburg Code of Ordinances states that no rider of a bicycle shall remove both hands from the handlebars, or feet from the pedals, or practice any acrobatic or fancy riding on any street. This law likely arose during a time of great concern for bicyclists' safety, when there were more crashes than usual. Thankfully, the law is rarely enforced, so kids can still take their hands off the handlebars without fearing jail time. How foil seals on pill bottles save lives. Ever wondered why pill bottles have protective foil seals beneath the lid? It's not just for airtightness. In 1982, a series of cyanide-laced Tylenol capsules caused several deaths. The culprit tampered with the bottles, adding the poison, and then resealed them. This tragedy led to the Tylenol bill, making it a federal offense to tamper with consumer products. The FDA also mandated tamper-proof packaging, including those foil seals to prevent such incidents in the future. So next time you peel back that foil, remember it's there to keep you safe. The shocking truth about supermarket apples. They say an apple a day keeps the doctor away, but did you know most supermarket apples are up to a year old? Apples ripen between August and September, so to keep them in stores year-round, they are treated with chemicals and kept in cold storage. An investigation found that the average supermarket apple is 14 months old. They are also coated with shellac or carnauba wax to keep them fresh-looking, which acts as an oxygen barrier. So while they may look fresh, the inside might be a different story. Eating these wax-coated apples in large amounts could even harm your colon and small intestine. So perhaps it's best to stick to just one apple a day from now on. Which of these facts impressed or amazed you the most? Let me know down in the comments below.